bunch of guys having some good hearty breakfast before they go out there to burn those calories off. Yeah, I've met a lot of really great people over the years, and I'm sort of have my own little index of recommendations when people ask me, oh, I need a plumber, I need a painter, I need a stucco guy, or who do you call for this? And so I pretty much rattle that stuff off.
We do several seminars each year. They're different places wherever we can find a venue, but I do one that's titled Your Remodel, How to Make It a Success, and it's about a 2-hour seminar, and people learn what to expect during the design, the building process itself, and what to expect after the contractor's done. We go through how to choose a contractor, what to expect during the construction process, and what the warranties are. I do another seminar that's called Your Remodel, How to Make It Green, and people learn the basics of how to make their remodeling project sustainable, how to make their home indoor air quality improved, and how to save energy. That's what green building is all about. Then the third seminar that we do is called Aging in Place, and it's all about universal design and how we can remodel a home so that people can stay in it as they age, if they have some kind of catastrophic injury. A lot of people are just getting their knees and hips replaced, and if they don't have a full bathroom on the first floor, they're probably going to have to stay in some kind of assisted care facility until they can get up to that second floor. People are conditioned to expect contractors to take twice as long as they said they would, and for the project to cost twice as much as they said it would. And I do a seminar and I tell people what to expect, and I tell them that shouldn't happen. They should expect the price to be the price, and unless they added something, that price should stay the same. Same thing with the schedule. Unless they added extra work, the contractor should be able to stick to the schedule. So I like to tell people to start with getting referrals from friends and neighbors, family that have done projects similar to the ones that they're doing, and to start with that. To interview the contractor. You can get a pretty good gut feeling when you first talk to the contractor about whether they're going to be right for you. Listen to that feeling. Then I suggest that you go through a whole list of questions about their past projects, that you go and visit their current projects, that you go and look at their completed projects. One contractor's idea of quality may not be your idea of quality. Check their track record. Call their references. A lot of people will get references from contractors and they don't call them. There's a good list of questions you can get from the NARI website on how to choose a contractor, what kind of questions to ask. Did they finish the project on time? Did they finish the project at the price they said they would? Were there people there working on the project every day? Did they keep the job site clean and safe? Ask them what's included, what's not included typically, so that you can be fully prepared for what the eventual costs are going to be. So once you've narrowed your selections down to 2 or 3, and you have a good set of plans and specifications, then you can go ahead and get your estimates and make a final choice. But that's the other key thing, is to have a good set of plans and specifications. You can't expect to get 3 good quality bids if you don't have good bid documents for them to work from.
One of the strengths that ProVision Glass brings to the table is our staff's experience and knowledge of product. When we have a customer asking us for a product, we're able to listen to them and their needs and make suggestions if they ask, if they like, based on what their goals are. Sometimes their goals are energy efficiency, sometimes their goals are more appearance, sometimes the goals are to simply replace a broken windshield in a car. And so we need to educate the customer on the process and in turn provide that service they're asking for. Consultation is just as important as the sale. It's very important that ProVision Glass sells something to our customers that they are after, not what we think they want. If you're going to buy something and do it yourself, buy it from someone who knows what they're selling. Buy it from someone who can give you sound advice from experience. Buy it from a local company. And don't always buy just on price alone.
The preparation is the key to getting those products to stay on the surface. There is a standard method of operation that we do, and the first thing we do, let's take a house, a personal residence. We wash that house first, either with hot water or just tap water. After the old paint is removed and the surface is ready for paint, if there's any deteriorated surface, then we always put a primer on. On those affected areas, you don't have to paint your whole house if only one side of it is, or prime the whole house if only one side of it has got some problems. After the primer is on, then we go through and we do a lot of caulking of cracks and holes and areas that'll let water and bugs in. After that's complete, then it's ready for the finished coat of paint. And there's different methods to apply that. Probably the most common way is with the airless spray paint, and then by following it up with either a back brush or a back roller to make everything nice and smooth and even and has the right look.
If a person wants to install a floor themselves, it depends obviously on what type of floor. There's vinyl floors. There are vinyls now that you can install that don't need any adhesive. You can just put them down. They're loose laid floors. So if you're going to install by yourself and that's an easier way to do it. You don't have to deal with the adhesive and the glue and that kind of a mess. The floor prep, like in anything, painting or anything, floor prep to get the floor ready and everything ready to go is a very big thing. There's floor fillers, there's everything to get the floor good and level and flat underneath so that the old stuff doesn't show through the vinyl. There's still things in the store that the typical person cannot install, but a lot of things they have the click system floors now, floating floors that just snap together, and there's a lot of people out there that are pretty handy, and they can save themselves quite a bit of money by installing themselves, and they come out looking good. So
when you go to install the sealer, you want to make sure that it's very clean. If you have a blower, starting with a broom and a shovel if you have coarser material, and the best is to get water and get a surface that the new sealer can really bite on. The sealer itself can be installed with either squeegees or brooms. You probably won't be using that broom again for anything else, although the products are emulsified, meaning that they are water-based, and if you do clean them quickly with with just water before it dries, you can save it for at least another application of the sealer, if nothing else. If your driveway has been many years since it has been sealed, it's probably due for 2 coats of sealer, as the first one will be absorbed quickly into the dried asphalt. With new asphalt, it's the same scenario, that a lot of the new sealer will be absorbed through capillary action into the asphalt, and a second coat provides you a good sacrificial layer that will keep the surface of your asphalt from wearing out and give you much better longevity on your driveway. When I started in the industry 32 years ago, everybody told me the common amount of time that people expected the driveway to last was about 30 years. A few years later, I came upon a driveway that a gentleman asked me to seal coat, and it looked like new, and I asked him how old it was, and he told me that it was 40 years old already, and it looked pretty much like new. And I asked him how his driveway had survived so well, and he said that he had sealed it every year since the day it was new. And so, provided forces from underneath aren't affecting the life of your pavement, if you keep the top of it sealed up, and you don't need to do it every year, but every 3 to 5 years is considered good, then you can extend the life of the surface perhaps indefinitely.
Yeah, we make the 2x2x6 concrete blocks, generally with the leftover concrete, so it cuts down on waste, because a lot of times, you know, you order 8 yards, you may use 7, so we'll make blocks out of them, which work very good for retaining walls. You've probably seen them around town. They have a nice cobble face on them. They weigh 4,000 pounds. They're pretty heavy, but they make an excellent retaining wall.
There are new technologies going on with green, which is exciting. We're using broken glass, recycled materials into concrete, which is fun to work with and exciting. But watching kind of the young kids step into the construction industry here at Los Animas, as well as other companies where the kids are now involved. They've been here long enough to where they understand, and you see their new ideas coming into it, which is really fun to see. I think that the ultimate goal would be able to use 100% or as close to 100% of the materials available locally to make concrete or to use it. Right now we run recycled fly ash, which is the bottom ash from the power plants. We use slag, which is a recycle of leftover from the steel industry. We use a little bit of recycled aggregate that's crushed, put back into the concrete, and some recycled fibers. Fibers are becoming very popular in concrete now, where it interlocks throughout the whole matrix of the concrete, as opposed to using a bar holding it structurally in place. They use fibers to do that in the bigger slabs. We can use recycled plastic for that, which works really well. So there are a lot of applications that will continue to evolve. We'll continue to test and find applications for them specifically. Those are recycled plastics. They go in the concrete and they actually expand, and as you roll the concrete together. So they put about a pound, which is about 1 million fibers, into a yard of concrete. And as the concrete rolls, they come apart, and each individual will wrap and interlock in through the matrix of the concrete. So in the end, you have a concrete that has fewer cracks, has a stronger, a more durable surface, and you used up a recyclable, something that was thrown into the garbage. Over the last couple of years, the local artists have found that they can take glass, break it up, tumble it, and then seed the surface of the concrete, like for a table, a decorative table or something like that. Expose this, and it's actually a very nice look. For us, we're trying to take it a step further. One, if we can integrate it in as part of the aggregate in the concrete, we can actually use more of the recycled product. And two, if it gives the customer an opportunity to, expose it and create a decorative look without spending so much money. Right now, it's extremely expensive to do this because you do small batches of it. You have to tumble it for days, and then seed it on the surface. If we were able to get work with the local landfill as they separate the glass, we can then just crush it, put it in the concrete, and let it naturally tumble as we manufacture the concrete. And then if they want to expose it, they can expose the surface, grind the surface to create that look. And it accomplishes a couple things. One, it makes a more aesthetically pleasing or interesting design concrete and decorative concrete. And two, we use up the glasses currently being thrown away.
Maybe 30 years max. where concrete is really shot off in a decorative realm. It started with Brad Bowman, I believe, with the stamps, and then it started going into acid stains, and then it started going into countertops. And so there, I can point fingers to, or I can point to various leaders that started this wave going, and I kind of just have taken the various forms of decorative concrete with my company and not gone in any particular realm, but gone in a lot of different realms to take from the acid staining techniques and the exposed different types of concrete techniques and the stamping techniques and sculptural stuff and develop that. So it's been the last 30 years, I'd say, but decorative concrete has been around for a long time, and when I do seminars on concrete countertops, I really start off with saying, listen, this isn't really all that unique. You know well, if you thought about it, that the Romans and the Greeks thousands of years ago had a concrete countertop in some form or fashion easily. No big deal. I mean, some of the stuff they did with the Parthenon and the rest of the Ionic and Doric columns, etc., how they built those things with the kinds of cements they use is phenomenal. So what we do isn't anything that's really new, but it's different. And I think the influx of decorative concrete, being in the last 30 years anyway, has allowed us to explore different realms that haven't been tapped into per se. So the concept's been around for a long time. That's Gail's from Gail's Bakery. We recolored her countertop. And they're different because they have to be done within 3 or 4 hours of pouring the concrete. And so you don't have as much time as you would with a precast countertop. You can pour those and just leave them, and you don't touch them. You vibrate them, and you pour them on melamine, so they're very smooth. With a cast and place concrete countertop, you have to pour it, finish it, strip the forms, and be on it, as a finisher. So both have their challenges, and both have their upsides.
We utilize a citric acid passivating mixture that we actually produce here because it's the absolute safest thing we can make. It comes from apples, oranges, lemons, limes, that sort of thing. And believe it or not, those natural fruits have the ability to take our stainless manufactured steel and repassivate the surface, make it stainless again, make it so that it doesn't actually rust. Whenever you disturb the surface of stainless, chances are it's going to have what we call a slight rouging to it. It's going to have a little free iron, and iron oxide is 73 times the size of its base molecule, so you're guaranteed to see some color show up. And we actually use the citric acid to remove that, to clean it, and then allow the chromium oxide that gives stainless its stainless properties the chance to protect it.
A typical shower head now could be anywhere from 3.5 gallon to 2.5 gallon. Well, the conservative heads that they have come out with now, some of them are oxygenated, some of them have extremely good water pressure and only use 1.5 gallons. So versus a 2.5 gallon, you're looking at 40-50% savings in water just on your daily showers. Toilets have gone from 5 gallon to 3.5 gallon. In 1992, they went to 1.6 gallon. Now they have them all the way down to 0.8 of a gallon. Solar thermal, I think I've mentioned, that could save 40% of your hot water heating bill. They even have faucets now, kitchen faucets, bathroom faucets, that you just change an aerator and switch it from a 2.5 gallon to a 0.5 gallon a minute. Your bathroom faucet, you don't really need anything more than a 0.5 gallon coming out of your bathroom faucet. Your kitchen faucet, maybe 1.5 gallons is plenty in lieu of 2.5. So there's numerous products out there to save you, both you and the planet.
As of July 1st, all homes are supposed to have carbon monoxide detectors in them, but that is the big thing, just to making sure that it is burning properly, whether it's a water heater or a furnace, and that's the biggest thing that happens is the carbon monoxide, and people don't realize it. Safety for heaters, you need to make sure that that they are lighting properly, that they are cleaned. Just if you would smell gas at all, to call a service professional to make sure to check that out, making sure that everything is operating properly. So the biggest thing is, if you just kind of detect that something isn't quite right, to call a professional to come out and make sure that everything is working properly for you. Yeah. Using copper, especially in this area, is the longevity of it, the salt air. So people use that, especially closer to the ocean, but they will use it even inland too, just because of longevity of the product there. And then people, of course, like the color of it. It doesn't stay that nice, shiny, bright color all the time, but it turns the green patina color. But yeah.
This is a copper fireplace sensor, or it's actually is a alcohol burning little stove. It's a commercial alcohol burning device, and this is kind of what it looks like. Put the alcohol in here, and a flame comes up through here. And this is for a local contractor that we were making a surround, and this represents all the fireproof material that was done. And our job was simply to skin it. So we have a program that we use that allows us to make changes to whatever we need, and this goes directly from this program to our sheet metal press brake, and so that we are able to make changes, and it tells us exactly how to program our CNC press brake, and just makes the sheet metal fabrication end of it a lot easier sometimes. I can export this file, which is, it's any file basically from a SolidWorks, or to a AutoCAD Inventor. We use a Libre Design, and it enables us to send this directly to the water jet and cut this flat pattern out, and then send that to the press brake. So we can work from pretty much anybody's. We have certain there's different factors that need to be thought up before if somebody's sending us a file, but basically they can draw their own 3D design, and it's all electronic. Now they don't even have to be here. It's just they're saying, I'll ask them, I'll say, what K factor did they use for bending this particular material, and what thickness, and all that kind of stuff, and they're like, okay, and then email the file to me, and I have a look at it. If it looks like something that I need to redraw in order to get it to work with our machinery, I'll do that, and send it over to the water jet, and the water jet operator cuts it out and comes back into the shop, and we bend it up, and here's your part.
Really enjoyed the glass trade. To be able to cut glass and manufacture stuff and have a real sense of satisfaction for the end product. To take something and create it and end up with a result that it's just satisfying. It's a passion.
When I was 11 years old, my father gave me a welder, and from there on out I was just hooked. Later on, going to school, I chose my school, Fresno State, based on the machine shop they had available, and not really anything else. When I walked into that and saw an F-15 fighter parked there that the Air Force gave them every 2 years to take apart for their aeronautics lab, I was pretty much hooked.
My dad taught me pretty much everything there is to know about concrete. I spent a lot of time with him. Just work ethic, I think, more than anything. Treat people correctly, provide a good quality service and product, and treat your men as best you can.
One of the things that I enjoy about doing what I do, there's a real sense of accomplishment to see a deteriorated project and see it from start to end, and it shines at the end, and I also know that it's going to withstand the test of time within reason.
Well, I enjoyed being an installer. You'd go into a house when you left it looked better, so I really enjoyed that part of it. It is awfully hard on the body, so I do feel for the installers. It's a hard job, but it is gratifying when you're done and it looks better, much better than when you started.
I love working with my hands. I like taking a raw piece of metal and turning it into something that people can use and actually help with the comfort of people's homes.
It's a client coming up to me out in the street or at a restaurant and saying, the concrete work that your company did is still looking fantastic, thank you. Or one of the things that gives me joy is to make the friends that I make on job site.
What I get a big kick out of is seeing people really happy with their project, really happy with their process, seeing the transformation. So I like contemporary design, but really I get a kick out of seeing people happy and healthy in their new environment.
They're just really stand-up, good people in the community. They do a lot of good and employ a lot of people.
My sandbox collection here, toys I collect running from the 30s, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, diesel rollers, steam shovels, motor graders, all children's toys for pushing dirt and sand around, and what I didn't get much of as a kid, I'm making up for now.